Hey, it's Rooted Black Girls with Farah and Afnan, representing everyday Black millennial women of multiple cultures and faiths. Today, we are talking about coronavirus updates, Ted Cruz, Texas. Roll out with us, y'all.
Hey, Farah, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing really well. We're back and we're better, right?
Yes,
How are you doing?
alhamdulillah. I am doing good, surviving, man. So I think the last time we talked to the podcast, it was before that whole winter storm thing. That thing kind of threw me off pretty significantly. And I'm just now getting caught up from that. But how
Yeah.
have you been doing?
I've been good, alhamdulillah. I know you had the winter storm, and I was getting my second dose of my COVID vaccine, and we were both like
Yes,
out, like you were like in and out of power, right?
yes,
You were also doing the 28 days of reels in February,
yes.
in Black History Month.
Oh,
So yeah, we took a little bit of a break here, but we're back and we're happy to be back.
yeah, absolutely. And so in today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about like COVID. You guys, I can't believe it's been a whole year.
Yeah.
And I am excited for us to at least it seemed like we were heading in the right direction finally after a year of dropping the ball.
Hmm.
And before I even had a chance to really get and stay excited, now we have these governors doing these silly things. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about today. So if you guys haven't heard, Texas and Mississippi are two states who have decided at the state level to remove mask mandates. And so what that means is businesses are essentially free to run their businesses like COVID never happened, right? Open, no, not requiring masks. Of course, there are quite a few establishments who are going to continue to ask residents to or visitors, excuse me, to wear masks, and they, of course, are going to require that their employees wear masks. But the problem is that if someone's out being reckless and sneezing and coughing, then you're at the mercy of your immune system and whatever it is that other people do, which is really scary. I was just starting to get comfortable with, okay, everybody has their masks, we're social distancing. And now it's like,
Yeah.
back in the Wild West, which is insane. So, Fada, have you like heard about this? What are your thoughts as a healthcare provider?
First off, there's so many layers here. First, I'm in Atlanta. It's All-Star Weekend right now, so people don't care. Okay.
Wow.
People are out, they're partying. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms went to some social media platform and was like, Atlanta's closed. And it's not, it's wide open. And so I don't know exactly the Georgia laws for mask mandates, but they're definitely not it because people are going to clubs, people are out and about,
Yeah.
and so nothing's truly been enforced here in Atlanta. I know that rates in general are going down, and I don't know if people really know exactly why that's the case, but it's likely the national mask mandates,
Yeah.
ones that have been across the states. And so mask wearing works. My cousin is an emergency room doctor, and we were talking about, and I'm in outpatient clinics. I'm like, I'm never not wearing a mask ever again. Like I cannot believe I went to work without a mask in like a healthcare environment where I'm seeing up to 30 patients a day and even going into patients' hospital rooms and the emergency room to see patients.
Yeah.
So from a healthcare perspective, it's nasty. From a personal perspective, it's nasty. Okay.
Hmm.
like,
Right.
I don't see how we go back. I still
Yeah.
cringe when I watch a show and people are like shaking hands and like hugging each other.
Oh, you know what it is?
Not
Like, I think
acceptable.
the moment where I realized like I was nasty was when I was like, oh my God, I would let this eyebrow lady breathe all on my damn face doing my eyebrows.
Everything.
Or
People
like,
blowing out candles for
that's the other
birthday.
one. I
I
was like,
always thought
what's
that
a,
was nasty.
did you really?
Always.
That's
I
one
was
I
like,
missed.
I ate the cake now because it was Publix, but like,
Listen, Publix cake is different. Oh my goodness.
different.
But no, I don't think I'll ever get on a plane again. Yeah, I mean, Allahu A'lam. I don't think I'll ever get on a plane again without a mask. Like I was already a germaphobe. I was that person holding up the whole line, Lysol wipes, Lysol spray, Clorox wipes, everything. But even now, like if there's like a kit, like a plastic seat cover and a kit where you put plastic, like the bins, the
Yeah.
TSA bins have always given me anxiety.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Always.
I never even thought to wipe that down. I don't need any additional reason to be on top of the ass because I've been on it.
Yes.
I've been on it. Like I've always been, I don't want to say germaphobe, but I've always been very conscious of like where germs can be and why it's, some environments are just unnecessary. And I
Yeah.
think even think about the cultural custom of the US of like pushing through and going to work when you had a small cold, you know, like it was like, you can't call
Yes.
out, it's not that bad, but you were literally infecting everyone. I knew that when homeboy had a cough over there in his little pod, I'd be getting it 2 weeks later. You know what I mean?
It's
And
terrible.
so I'm actually, alhamdulillah, and I'm very grateful for this. I don't really get sick that often, you
Yeah.
know?
Alhamdulillah.
I'm
And
grateful.
I think so. So looking at like it's been a year, right? Over 500,000 deaths in the U.S. reported, right,
Yeah.
and still climbing, which is insane.
Mhm.
And Texas population, only 7.1% of Texas residents have gotten both doses of the vaccine and are fully vaccinated.
Mhm.
And so they have seen a little bit of a dip, but a lot of people here and across the country are concerned because spring break. You know what I mean? People are traveling more, people are out and about, people are throwing caution to the wind, living their best life.
Mhm.
And we also know that Joe Biden recently was able to get his American Rescue Plan approved by Senate.
Yeah.
And so what that means is, teachers and educators will be able to get vaccinations. They
Mhm.
expect that vaccines will be available for the entire country by May, in terms of not everybody will be vaccinated by then, but at least the supply is there for to support the country's demands,
Yeah.
which means that we might be getting some relief, come September, by everybody actually having hopefully had at least the first shot. But we're looking for it to be again like the rest of the year until we're fully out of this thing. And that's assuming there's not another spike. That's assuming our borders aren't wide open and everybody's coming from overseas and we just have a whole other thing again. And that's also assuming that they can get the logistics down in terms of actually distributing the vaccine to everybody, including at-risk populations. And so I haven't gotten the vaccine yet. Quite frankly, I don't even know how you get the vaccine. It's been
Yeah.
so
A process.
complicated, the process. So I was hoping that you could share with us, like, because
Yeah.
I know that you've gotten the vaccine, because us Black people are like, hell no, we're
I
not doing it.
know. So many layers there, and we know that the distrust of the medical community is warranted for
Yes.
Black
Oh my
people,
goodness.
right? And I hope that we're doing better as a medical community in general, right? But you really don't know what you're knowing like in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And so we hope that we're working ethically to help and support communities of color, right? Black people, my people. But we only really know how we did when you can look in hindsight. Interestingly, I know, patients, from a patient perspective, a lot of my own patients would tell me that they were driving over the age of 65, of course, were driving hours, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to get vaccines in different counties because they didn't have
Wow.
like a statewide system. Recently, the
Mm.
state of Georgia in the last few weeks has rolled out with the Department of Health. It's like DPH, Department of Health.georgia.gov, where you can
Mhm.
sign up for the vaccine, and it's a quite easy, very easy process. My friend and I, we had dinner yesterday, and she told me she just went to the Department of Health website, signed up for it, signed up for a week. So the earlier rollout was a lot tougher. A lot of grocery stores were having kind of the main kind of rollout, but now they've kind of centralized it with the Department of Health. So
Very
that's kind of
interesting.
like the kind of
The
bringing it
system.
together, the
Yeah.
system, centralizing the system there.
So
So
before it was like different organizations, different institutions had like their limited supply and they each had their own process. But now that it seems like in Georgia, there's like a standard process. I can go on the website, I
standard
can
process.
see,
You can go
what
to
sites.
Kroger, Publix, CVS,
Wow.
right? And so
Like the
now,
flu shot. This is
yes, it's like the
insane.
flu shot. The thing
Very
is that,
crazy.
and so to speak about my own personal experience, of
Yeah.
course, being a healthcare worker, you're kind of first in line for this stuff.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my colleagues got it the weekend it rolled out. I waited a little while just because I'm not the best email reader, and that to be true.
No, that's facts.
Real facts. I got my astrology chart read, and she got to some part, and she was just like, "You cannot be bogged down with the details. You need a bullet point summary. Someone needs to give you like, just a quick summary because you're
Cliff
not reading
notes.
email. Cliff notes. That's it." And I was like, accurate. So
That's
I didn't read
hilarious.
the email. And I have to admit that, even being a healthcare provider, understanding science, I, was distrustful of the vaccine as well, and so I just thought, oh, okay, I've been without COVID, alhamdulillah, this entire
Yeah,
time
mashallah.
working on the front lines and seeing patients. So
Hmm.
would it hurt for me to just continue? But I did have a lot of angst and anxiety around potentially being at risk,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so the vaccine reducing symptomology, if you do contract the virus, really did make me feel a lot comfortable, especially being someone who's asthmatic. I was just like, I'm
Yeah.
this population.
Yeah.
So,
How was your experience actually getting it? Because for those of you guys who don't know, it's not just a single shot. You have to go and get two. And it's how many days apart? 20?
About 28 days apart for the Moderna. You can do up to, I think, 41 or 42 days. I'm sure the public health folks will come and correct us, and we welcome that you do.
Please so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So the first vaccine I got the Moderna, and so
are there multiple like options?
Yes,
I heard that there's like Johnson and Johnson, and then another brand is doing it as well.
Yeah, you get what you get. So whatever site you're connected with, you're going to get that vaccine. I know university I worked for worked around the Moderna vaccine trials, and so everyone was super excited at the university if you got Moderna, right? But who really cares at the end of the day?
Yeah,
activity is quite similar between the two main ones, which are Pfizer and Moderna. Johnson and Johnson just rolled out one that a lot of people, at least some of my patients and Black patients, are kind of holding out for, especially because it's only one shot that you get instead of two shots like the Pfizer and the.
And Johnson and Johnson doesn't have the greatest reputation as well.
Some of my patients, they're like Black folks, and they were like, yeah, I'm waiting for that Johnson and Johnson. I was like, you know about Johnson and Johnson in the Black community now, talc powder, like they've already paid out big time. I was like, I don't know if they're to be trusted, and that just blanket trust. So I think it's a smaller. What I think about the Johnson and Johnson is that they're what do we know them for? Baby shampoo, baby products, lavender. So people think from the marketing of Johnson and Johnson that they're a softer product, and that maybe it's going to lend itself towards the vaccine and how the vaccine affects them. So I don't know.
That's not how science works.
Yeah. So my process, vaccine 1, I got a little site injection kind of discomfort, and that lasted maybe 2 or 3 days.
So and like just tenderness, soreness, or like actually like in a.
No, tenderness in my like whole arm area.
Got you.
And then the second one, so I have allergies. So they gave, I have an allergy to like penicillin. So they gave me the injection. I had to sit around for 30 minutes rather than 15 minutes because in the clinical trial, some people got anaphylactic shock, meaning they just had allergies, a large allergic reaction to the vaccine. That was really the only thing. And it didn't happen frequently, but enough where they do surveillance of you for 15 minutes if you have no history of allergies, and then 30 minutes if you have a history of allergies. So I sat around and waited for 30 minutes. Didn't get any discomfort until around the next day.
Okay. But no other symptoms?
Huh?
No other symptoms with the second dose?
The second dose, I was out. I went to dinner that night for my friend's birthday. Again, this is Atlanta. We're not going through what the rest of the country is going through.
Right.
I'm like, went to dinner. Da-da-da-da. My friend went to the movies the other day. I was like, what?
No way.
Yeah.
Like a theater?
A theater. There's an AMC theater like around the corner. So I didn't even ask her how it went. I was just like, really? I just took a mental note of like, let me ask more questions later. So the second one though, I was out. I went to dinner that night. I didn't feel any symptoms. Next morning I woke up and I was like shakes and shivers and like my temperature was up, and that lasted. I try to hold out because there's information that suggests if you take ibuprofen, you could reduce the immune response, and you want an immune response. So you build antibodies, and antibodies are surveillers. They surveil the body for any foreign objects so that it can attack foreign objects.
So you're trying to hold it out so that it can.
I had to hold out 3 hours. Exactly. So 3 hours into, I was like, oh, girl, I'm not cut out for this. And so I took 600 milligrams of Aleve and felt good within 30 minutes. And I spent a lot of time outdoors. And that
really recommended?
No, it was something that
It's a fun thing. Sorry.
It was a fun thing. So I like picnicked outside. So yeah,
is that in the fine print of the
waves of symptoms for about 3 days.
Okay. Alhamdulillah.
Not horrible though.
Did you have like a fever and everything too, or just chills, shakes?
I didn't check my temperature, but I did get fever and chills. Oh, no fever. I don't know if I had a fever, but chills, kind of shakes, nausea for me.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So are those like normal symptoms that people can expect? I know there like another person on Instagram who I follow who's also in the healthcare, she was documenting her journey, and I was like, I'm watching sis, like, how are you today? Checking it out. Like
Yeah.
Because I think so many of us are just apprehensive about it and just unsure. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of distrust. So,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah, I'm glad. I was nervous for you, and when you initially said that you weren't feeling well, and I didn't want to push it, so I was like, I just hope you're okay.
Yeah, 'cause we ended up canceling that episode because I was like, "Ooh, okay, so this is touch and go,"
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought I'd be better in the evening, and in the mornings I'd be like sluggish. I had a
Yeah,
nausea. I thought that was weird, but
yeah.
it happened.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so I'm glad I got it. It does give me a little bit of relief in a sense that if I contract it, that it's not gonna the symptoms won't be as worse,
That's severe. Yeah.
That
And I
just
think a lot of people think that it's like a cure, like you can't get it at all.
say
And
that.
that's not true. After I've read that like
Absolutely.
no, it'll be more mild if
Yes.
there are symptoms, or you could be you can deal with them a little bit better. It's not going
Yeah.
to be as severe.
Yes, exactly. And so, I would encourage people to do their own research, right? You have your own intellect, right? You have your alcohol, so you can search and read about it and figure out what's best for you and your lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think if you're at home and homebody, you work from home, you're taking necessary precautions. Like I understand someone who then decides not to get it, right?
Yeah.
Versus someone who's out and about or works or is an essential worker or Amazon truck driver, just whatever. Like if you're interacting with people a lot, I think it's a great option for you. But yeah, you got to make the decision that's best for you. No one's forcing anyone to get it or not get it.
Yeah, I think I'm still on the fence about it. I am home for the most part,
Yeah.
and like other than like going out to like the store or whatever, like seeing friends is very minimal, family occasionally, but most of the time we're home. So I'm still thinking about it. But let me know, those of you guys who are listening, have you guys taken the shot? Did you know anybody who's taken it? Any adverse risks or reactions to it? Let us know. But we're hoping that everybody is safe. And it's crazy because Ramadan is around the corner. And I'm like, man, are we really going to do this whole social distancing Ramadan again?
And how was that for you? Last year.
Last year, initially I was relieved. And then I was like, dang, like it's not the same. I love doing the dinner parties, inviting people over and the cooking.
The best dinner parties, Moshe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I miss them. I definitely miss like the social interaction, bringing people over, setting up the house. It's been a very different year, but alhamdulillah, I think everything happens for a reason. So I'm hoping that we get to do a little something this year. And being in Texas, where I have a little bit more family, it gives me hope that we'll be able to do something. But I think it's called Roots here in Dallas. Is like an Islamic group here in the Fort Worth area, and they do like virtual like halakha sessions and virtual like they're doing a program right now where you can prepare for Ramadan, and then they allow you to come in person, and it's like social distancing. It's this huge yard, and I've been thinking about it, and I've been meaning to go, and I was like, you know what, the weather's starting to get nice. I think I'm gonna go and make that like a part of like my connection. I think getting my head right for Ramadan is going to be important, but I don't know if I'll make it through the whole Ramadan like last year, where it's like literally we didn't see anybody.
Yeah.
No one. We dropped gifts off at the door. We didn't hug anybody. No salams, like from afar. You know what I mean? So yeah. But what are you thinking? How do you think you're gonna?
I love that you would always like get decorations. You remind me of like Huda's family. They would have like
They don't play.
decorations and they don't
Mashallah.
play
I
too,
love it.
right? And mashallah, you don't either. And so I've never been the decoration type, but I was like, I think I need to get festive. I need to get excited about Ramadan. Yeah. Cause I'm like, we got to take, this is, to even see a Ramadan, that's such a
A
big
blessing.
deal,
Yeah,
right? And inshallah,
mashallah.
we all make it, right?
Inshallah.
And that we can really experience it and take it seriously, inshallah, and
Yeah.
really make some great intention around the month. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so grateful that my sister lives with me. Like I don't know if she's gonna listen to the Shaffer show, right?
She's probably not gonna get this far.
Yeah. The people closest to you are like, they don't gotta listen to it.
No, literally.
I mean, she hears the episode on a daily basis, right?
Yeah,
like,
mashallah.
alhamdulillah. So yeah, I've been so grateful to have her. I'm excited to even, us to be wrapping sambusa together and like, getting festive and getting it together. And then Eid and planning those festivities out, inshallah. And so I really
Y'all got any fire coming for us for Zia? Because I don't feel like finding an Eid dress, sis. Hook us up.
we tried. I don't think we're going to be able to do it this year. It's just manufacturers are kind of tough. And so inshallah, we really wanted to like roll out an Eid campaign, maybe the second one, inshallah.
Okay.
But yes, we're doing stuff with Zia too. So, it's right around the corner and it's fast approaching. And so I
Yeah.
hope that we're all preparing for it
Yeah.
in what, in the way
That we can.
that,
Yeah.
that yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, we appreciate everybody listening in. We just wanted to check it, see how you guys were doing. And even though it's been over a year, we have things to look forward to. Inshallah, we make it to Ramadan, and to be grateful that we've had this time. And I don't know about you, but like this time has also been really transformative in terms of like my self-care and things that are important to me and just perspective. So subhanallah, everything works out for a higher plan that Allah has for us. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next time.